Banshees are supernatural creatures from Irish mythology. Their name comes from the Gaelic Bean Sida, which means barrow woman or fairy woman. These entities are deeply rooted in Irish culture and folklore. The Banshee, according to Irish mythology, were members of the Tuatha De Danann people, a race of gods and deities who inhabited the land before the arrival of humans. Over time, these deities were relegated to the underground, becoming the feric beings known as Aes Sedai, where the term Banshee comes from. According to tradition, Banshees are female spirits associated with certain Irish families, generally those with prefixes "aw" or "mac" in their surnames. Each of these families is believed to have its Banshee. The Banshee is said to possess a voice capable of freezing the blood, a piercing wail that rises above the hills and valleys, announcing the imminent death of a member of a noble family or ancient lineage. This sound, known as keening, and can range from a high-pitched shriek to a great wail, is capable of penetrating the bone of the listener, sending a shiver through the body from head to toe. Physical descriptions of banshees vary. Sometimes they are depicted as young, beautiful women, and sometimes as wrinkled, frightening old women. However, the most common image is that of a pale woman with long silver hair, dressed in a gray or white robe. There are various theories about the origin of the banshees. Some associate them with ancient Celtic goddesses associated with death and rebirth. Others, on the other hand, link them to the spirits of women who suffered a violent or tragic death and now wander the earth as souls in sorrow. The appearance of a banshee is considered an unmistakable sign that death is near. Its wail can be heard in the darkest hours of the night, hovering in the air like a dire omen. Often, it is seen wandering around the house where death will occur, or sitting on a stone wall staring into the window of the room where the dying person lies. On some occasions, the banshee may take the form of an animal, such as a raven or a black cat, and appear in the dreams of the person inheriting to die. It is also said that it may take on the appearance of a human being and approach the victim to warn him of his impending demise. Unlike many supernatural beings in other mythologies, banshees are not considered malevolent. They do not cause death, they merely announce it. In some accounts, they are even seen as a form of compassionate warning, giving the family time to prepare for the impending loss. The banshee, like many creatures of Irish folklore, is a creature deeply rooted in the spirit world. She is believed to inhabit the otherworld, a realm parallel to our own, populated by fairies, leprechauns, and other supernatural entities. This link to the afterlife gives the banshee an aura of mystery and supernatural power. Banshees are said to be able to travel between our world and the other world with ease, crossing the borders between the two realms. This ability allows them to know the future and predict the death of the members of the families to which they are linked. Some legends tell that the banshees receive this information from the spirits of ancestors, who reveal to them the destinies of their descendants. The banshee's link to the spirit world is also manifested in her ability to take different forms. In addition to her traditional female appearance, she can transform into a bird, an animal, or even an inanimate object. This ability allows her to go unnoticed and approach her victims undetected. Numerous stories of banshees have taken the form of a raven cawing repeatedly on a roof, a black cat circling a house, or an object that moves on its own. These manifestations are considered to be unmistakable signs that death is near. Stories tell of people who have tried to follow the sound of the banshee's song, but no one has succeeded. The wailing seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It is as if the air itself carries the sound. Another distinctive feature of banshees is their ability to communicate with the dead. It is said that they can speak to the spirits of the departed and transmit their messages to the living. This ability makes them intermediaries between the world of the living and the world of the dead, playing a role similar to that of shamans in other cultures. The relationship between banshees and humans is ambivalent. On the one hand, they are feared and avoided because of their ability to predict death. On the other hand, they are also respected and revered as guardians of ancestral secrets and as messengers from the other world. In some regions of Ireland, it was believed that banshees could be appeased through offerings or rituals. For example, it was said that leaving a garment on the door of a house could distract a banshee and prevent it from entering. It was also believed that singing a fixed song or saying a specific prayer could scare these creatures away. The best-known banshee legend tells of Aileen, a woman from ancient Ireland. Aileen lived in a small village near the sea where everyone knew each other. She was beloved for her kindness and her beautiful voice. One day, a young man named Cian came to the village. Aileen and Cian fell in love and planned to marry. One night, while Cian was fishing at sea, a storm hit the coast. Aileen waited on the beach, calling for Cian with all her might. Her voice was lost in the roar of the wind and waves. At dawn, Cian's body was found on the shore. Aileen, broken with grief, sat beside him and wept. Her weeping was so sad that they say even the townspeople wept with her. Aileen could not get over the loss of Cian. Every night she would go to the beach and cry for her lost love. Over time, her body became thinner and paler until one day she disappeared. But his crying did not stop. The fishermen began to hear a strange wailing on stormy nights. They said it became Aileen's voice, warning of the dangers of the sea. Over the years, people noticed that Aileen's cry was not only heard before storms, it also sounded like someone in the village was going to die. Thus, Aileen became the first banshee. Since then, it is said that other women who died of broken hearts joined Aileen. Together, they formed the banshees that roam Ireland, warning families of the coming of death. Over the centuries, many Irish families recounted encounters with the banshees. A well-known example is that of the O'Brien family, one of the oldest in Ireland. It was said that, in the 17th century, the head of the O'Brien clan heard the wail of the banshee the night before he died in battle. There are several theories about the origin of the banshees, and scholars have proposed different interpretations to explain this phenomenon. Some researchers suggest that the banshees have their roots in ancient Celtic goddesses associated with death and rebirth. These goddesses were revered as guardians of the dead and were believed to have the power to foretell the future. Another theory holds that the banshee legend originated in ancient Celtic funeral rituals. During these rituals, women would gather to mourn and lament the death of a loved one, creating a sound similar to the wailing of a banshee. Or spirits of bereaved women, according to this theory, banshees are the spirits of women who suffered a violent or tragic death and now roam the earth as souls in sorrow. These women are believed to be doomed to mourn eternally for their losses. Thus, night after night, the banshee song continues to ring out in Ireland. This video has been created for the channel Myth Comics. As people say, whoever listens grows up. See you on your next adventure.